Hey, it's me, that pink lady, and I'm gonna tell you a lovely story. You know, teachers, they could really make or break your entire experience of your schooling. Some could give you new interests and new passions that you can discover and learn about, and some could make you hate your life and hate a subject entirely. And, you know, I had my fair share of good and bad teachers, but one teacher, you know, stands out from the bunch. He's a different little fella, and he's a different little fella. Simply because although I consider him to be a bad teacher, he was just a stranger person. You know, sometimes you get one of those teachers, you look at them in the eye, and you wonder, what are you doing? You know, you sometimes wonder, you're like, wow, I don't think I'm the main character of this story. I think this other person is truthfully living their best life. And that is the tale of Mr. Wizard. I'm gonna call this teacher Mr. Wizard because Mr. Wizard taught math. Specifically, he taught geometry, and I had him for my first year of high school, which is very nerve-wracking because when you're in your first year of high school, you think everything is scary. Everyone's like bigger than you. You're like a little small little runt. You don't know your way around the halls. Everything is nerving and scary. And having Mr. Wizard as your geometry teacher is a little strange. And the reason that he's Mr. Wizard is because, instead of calling himself mathematician Mr. Wizard, he'd call himself a math magician. A math magician. Ooh, a math magician. But that's a little strange. And I remember on the first day of school, he asked a couple of questions. He's like, "Hey, give me a Q&A. Give me some questions. I'll give you some answers." And I remember I asked him, "Hey, what's your favorite food?" And he looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, "I like to put toast in the oven. And I put some onions on that toast. And I put some sardines on that toast." And I think that if you like that, I think you should go into a corner and ponder your decisions. I don't have good opinions on food. I have some controversial food opinions that could be a video all in on itself. But I think anybody that puts onions and sardines on toast and then bakes that in the oven, I think you're sadistic. And I think you deserve a special place in that corner. You see the corner behind me? You go there and ponder your decisions and come back when you change your mind. That's ridiculous. But, Mr. Wizard, other than those two, you'd think, oh, he's a fine teacher with just a weird, refined taste. He taught a little strangely. This is because Mr. Wizard is actually an incredibly intelligent man. I'd say he's genius. I bet he has a very high IQ. And he's just very gifted in math. I think he's like polylingual. He allegedly taught somewhere in a Spanish-speaking country, so he's fluent in a ton of languages. He has 4 different college degrees. And that's kind of fun. That's kind of interesting. Living life on the edge. I get it. You're in a lot of college debt. But because he's so smart, you kind of can't. It's kind of hard teaching something to somebody that's not as smart as you. So, sometimes when kids aren't equipped with, the same level of knowledge as you, and you start belittling the kid because, oh, they can't do the same things that you can, and start getting into some weird territory. And Mr. Wizard, because he was so, smart, and because he thought some of the things that, we wanted to learn, some of the things that we needed to learn, came basically as basic, regular, I can do this on a random Tuesday for fun type of stuff. He often skipped over lessons that just were really needed to us, and just started doing his own thing. Do you know what fractal is? So fractal is a shape that, when you zoom in on any single point, allegedly goes on infinitely. It's a concept in math. Now fractals are not part of the curriculum where we live. It's not part of it. Mr. Wizard. In Mr. Wizard's class, it 100% was. And I had teachers go off topic once. I had an AP bio teacher teach us pseudoscience as fact once. And she's a whole different video. She's a whole different story time. But you know, Mr. Wizard, he taught us fractals, and I remember for a lesson he made us draw a fractal. And he was like, hey guys, draw a triangle, and then draw another triangle, and then draw another triangle and that triangle. And I remember I was drawing triangles for hours, and I felt like PTSD because I used to be in an art class, and I used to draw triangles for hours in that art class because the teacher didn't like me, and he made us buy Prismacolors. He made us buy Prismacolor oil pastels, which are really expensive art supplies. And I'd sit there as a 6-year-old, I'd have a little easel, and I'd have like really high quality art paper, and I just draw triangles, and they'll like until they filled up the paper. My parents paid for this. They got expensive art supplies for it too. But I did the same thing for Mr. Wizard's class. I remember giving my final work, it was a lot of triangles, and he looked at him, he was like, you could go further. So I went in, I started drawing more triangles, he goes, not accurate enough. Gives me a new paper. I was sitting in this class for I think 2 hours. Kids from other classes were coming in and looking because I couldn't draw the triangles precisely enough. And I wasn't the only person, he did this to anybody. Anybody that gave him a piece of paper with a fractal, he'd go, not good enough, not good enough, do more. Do more. Do it a second time. Do it a third time. Do it a fourth time. Do it a fifth time. And you know, that was just Mr. Wizard when it came to projects. You know, we once had a project where we had to draw an angle using a protractor and a straight edge. Dare you say ruler. Mr. Wizard did not like you saying ruler. He looked at a ruler, you say the ruler, he'd look at you very incredulously, and he'd say, you mean a straight edge, right? I think it's because Euclid, he coined it as a straight edge, and that guy was a Euclid #1 fan, I guess. So he was like, straight edge. I remember you drew a picture from the angle that you had, and I drew a flower, and it was a very well drawn flower. I can draw flowers pretty nicely. It had a beautiful stem, it had a beautiful little pollen bits, it had nice petals, and I know that it was nice because Mr. Wizard looked at my drawing. You know, and his mouth was open. He had a little smile in the corner of his mouth, and he goes, wow. You know, he whispered it to himself. He goes, wow, this is going on the bulletin board. And I go, oh my God, I'm gonna get a good grade in this class. Finally, after 5 attempts at drawing triangles on papers, after going 3 months off uni and learning fractals, I'm finally gonna get a good grade in this class. I'm so excited. You know, he's so happy with my angle. I'm gonna get an easy 100. It's gonna be great. So, you know, lo and behold, I walk by the bulletin board. You know, I see my drawing there. I'm like, wow. I'm basking in it. It's like, wow, I did a good drawing. I can't believe I got 100. And I look closer. On that grade. It's not 100. That grade was not 100. It was like a 75. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a 75? You know, I saw the reaction of the teacher. I thought he loved it. I thought my drawing was the best. You know, and then I look closer and he goes, I'm still salty about it. Years later, I look over on it and it says, I kid you not, the line work obstructed the angle. The line work obstructed the angle. What? I bet that Mr. Wizard was in his little booth. He was looking at it. He goes, I just can't give her 100. I need to find a way to give her points off. I think this is ridiculous. I'm still salty about it. Mr. Wizard, if you're watching this, how dare you? How dare you do this? Mr. Wizard also hosted a meme week on our school Google Classroom. So if you graduated school prior to COVID, you might have not had this, but after COVID, schools like started implementing Google Classrooms. This was like pre-COVID. I had Google Classrooms in my classes starting from like 2018, but I know that it's become a lot more commonplace after COVID. And basically, on the Google Classroom, Mr. Wizard would host meme evenings, and you had to send in memes about himself or about the class. Me and this other girl, we were the only people that did them, and then we became best friends to that. But I want to let you know, I remember meme evening. Mr. Wizard was just a character. He was I don't even know what to say. Once we had a group of two guys, and these two guys, they're little goobers. They like to cause a lot of mischief, you know. They'd start yelling, they'd interrupt the class. And Mr. Wizard, he wouldn't really do anything. I guess he liked basking in the chaos. I mean, he wasn't really teaching the class anyways. Nobody was learning anything. And I think he liked our class because he was pretty chill with us. Allegedly, he was a lot stricter with other kids. And I think he just liked the two boys that cause they just misbehave. So, once upon a time, one of these guys, I don't know what happened. I don't remember the context for this, but he has a pencil case, and the pencil case is open, right? There's pencils, there's pens, colored pencils, erasers, whatever you have in a pencil case, and he throws the open pencil case at Mr. Wizard. And Mr. Wizard, he's in the middle of teaching a lesson. He just starts blinking, goes silent. He doesn't say anything. The pencil case barely misses him. Pencils fly out everywhere. They're like all over the ground. It's so stupid. And he doesn't do anything. The kid got no repercussions. Oh my god, there must be another story. So, in the math world, there's this very prized chalk from I think Korea or from Japan. And this chalk is great because anybody that uses a blackboard, it writes insanely smoothly, and it's just good chalk. But it's expensive. It's hard to find because the original company ran out of business. And Mr. Wizard, he was a chalk aficionado. You know, he loved this chalk. He had like a room full of this chalk. Not a room, but on his board he always used this chalk. And once upon a time, one of the two goobers, I guess I don't know how it happened, but he dropped the chalk box. You know, I don't think Mr. Wizard was all too happy about this, because the next day we come in, and we were 7th period. I had this geography class 7th period. And I read on the board, "A curse has been placed on your class. To lift the curse, you must do what's right. You must amend what's broken to lift the curse placed upon period 7. Did a teacher curse your class before? Because mine did. Did somebody curse your class? I was so mad. I was so livid because we don't know what this curse entailed. Nobody did. He would never reveal it. This curse was also never lifted. We had it for the rest of the year. We had this curse the rest of the year. I don't know why he placed a curse on our class instead of I don't know, talking it out with the kid, maybe calling his parents, asking for the money back, maybe, giving him a bad grade in participation or something for the day. I don't know why he resorted to, I will curse this entire class. Actually, I don't even know if that's the reason on why this curse happened. It just came into existence. And unfortunately, I cannot ask Mr. Wizard on why this curse happened. Because alas, all good, or not good because he wasn't that good of a teacher, but an interesting person. Oh my gosh, I remember I once asked him to play Uno on the last day of freshman year, and he comes up to me and he goes, I don't play luck-based games. To give you an insight on a teacher that curses your class and doesn't play Uno. All good things sadly come to an end, as Mr. Wizard only taught at my high school for 1 year, and then he left to get a doctorate or a PhD at some random college, never to return. That's quite upsetting because I really wish I could ask Mr. Wizard a variety of questions. He was certainly an interesting fella, and one that will be missed. And Mr. Wizard also taught like 5 classes at the school. Mr. Wizard, he taught geography, he taught physics, he taught stats, he taught computer science. I think he taught AP computer science as well. Now he's gone. And he will be missed. Not because he was a good teacher, but just because he was very strange person. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, let me know. Hit the subscribe button. Comment below what you'd like to see. If you currently like whatever I'm doing as B-roll for this footage, just tell me. Give me validation. I have 2 other videos, and one's about the wasps in my walls, and one's about like a 58-minute Mr. Beast video. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to ramble and tell you all my videos, but if you enjoyed me, I'm gonna let you know I'm uploading a video every single day until the end of the summer. So if you really like my content, you might see more. And I'm also toying with the idea of live streaming, doing some fun stuff like that. I don't know, I'm branching out. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a That Pink Lady filled summer. It's a summer filled of Pinky. So if you're into that, So if you're into that, hit that subscribe button and then turn on notifications so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. And comment down below what you want me to see next. And if you like this one, like it, because I then would know what I should make. And then also that boosts me into the algorithm and more people can see it. And that'd be kind of sick. They could all know about Mr. Wizard. And then maybe Mr. Wizard could see this video. And knowing Mr. Wizard, he's gonna leave some kind of comment going, I'm Mr. Wizard, and I'm the geometry teacher, and I also go off units to talk about fractals. And if you also want to hear stories about some other teachers, I had a teacher that taught pseudoscience once. I had a teacher that was suspended from the school once. I had a teacher that ran for mayor. These are all only in high school. I have a lot of stories. A lot of stories about teachers. So if you're into that, tell me and I'll tell you more. I have so many, because teachers are very underpaid. So that means some strange characters get into it. So, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.